let's talk a little bit about the latest in the Big 12 drama. And there's a lot of there's a lot going on here, and it's a constantly changing dynamic here. Here's the newest twist in everything. Well, there's two twists, I guess. So one thing that when the initial announcement came out that the SEC and was looking to add Texas and Oklahoma, or Texas and Oklahoma were looking to join the SEC, however mutual you want to consider those negotiations were, there was a large thought about like, well, boy, can A&M put together a block and keep them out? There was a large talk because there were a lot of A&M fans who were mad. A lot of A&M fans did not want Texas back in the conference for any number of reasons.
Spin the wheel and pick one.
Right.
It's on there.
They did not want them in the conference. A lot of fans. I think it's very important to recognize the difference between fans and administrators, though, because fans deal with emotions.
Yep.
But in the end, what you've got to remember is that the people in charge of college football programs, they are money people making money decisions.
They speak dollar signs.
They are business people who are doing the business. And so the Texas A&M Board of Regents, I believe, met last night.
Yes, they did.
They immediately went into executive session. Travis Brown said there were cookies. And they said the last time
that is the most important update that we have for you. There were, in fact,
Travis Brown, our
cookies.
buddy at the Bryan College Station Eagle, said that there were cookies. He said the last time there were cookies at a Board of Regents meeting was when Jimbo Fisher was hired. So notable Board of Regents meeting. And they come out, and A&M says, you know what? We're going to vote yes. We want Texas and Oklahoma in there because, and again,
dollar sign.
It's a money decision. These are business people making business decisions. Texas is making a business decision to move to the SEC. Oklahoma is making a business decision to move to the SEC. Texas A&M is making a business decision to not block them. Yes. Furthermore, I will just say this. Even if they wanted to, I don't think they would have the votes. They would need three other teams besides themselves to say no. And it's starting to sound like it's going to be unanimous.
Yeah, the extending the invite was basically 13-1
that's what everybody thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 14-0. It's going to be unanimous, and Texas will join the SEC. It's just a matter of Texas and Oklahoma will join the SEC. It's a matter of when. So now we get to the matter of when, and we get to the drama involving television networks. Because, it's funny. We've been talking a lot about how this all has to do with TV revenue, which is what realignment is about. It's about TV revenue. It's not about whether or not A&M can beat Oklahoma. It's not about whether or not Texas can beat Florida. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with television revenue. Well, yesterday, Bob Bowlesby.
Quite a name on that guy.
Bob Bowlesby, the, let's say, rather bumbling commissioner of the Big 12. I think that's fair to say.
Yes.
I'm probably editorializing a little bit, but I don't know if there's anybody who's necessarily going to agree with me. This is a guy who came out at Big 12 Media Days and said, I don't think there's an appetite for realignment, as his two biggest schools are looking to leave.
Yes.
Yahoo Sports yesterday first reported that the Big 12 has sent a cease and desist letter to ESPN.
Hey guys, be nice letter.
Essentially, I'm reading directly from Pete Thamel's story on Yahoo.com. Essentially demanding the television network stop plotting to sabotage and cannibalize the league. Commissioner Bob Bowlesby accused ESPN of attempting to harm the league for ESPN's financial benefits. From there, Bowlesby did a series of media interviews where he accused ESPN of plotting with another league, later to be revealed as the American Athletic Conference, of attempting to kill off the Big 12. Essentially, Bowlesby said he found evidence that ESPN had been providing incentives to a league to lure the Big 12 leftovers away after Texas and Oklahoma bolted without warning, end quote, from Pete Thamel's story. Functionally, what they're saying is that ESPN is pulling the strings behind the scenes to make this happen. We can talk about why they are. We were talking a little bit about how there's a massive buyout to get out of the conference early, but if the Big 12 dissolves, then no
you don't
buyout.
have to pay anything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. Look, this is the tea. This is juicy. And I also think that it is not necessarily like, I don't think Bob Bowlesby's a very good Big 12 commissioner. That's a hot take. But I also think he probably has a point here. I think that because look, all we've talked about is Texas and Oklahoma and the SEC. Okay, but when you're talking about these things, they have television partners.
Yep.
Okay, and ESPN has just signed a deal starting in 2024 that will be basically the exclusive rights holder of the SEC. So it would behoove ESPN to have a bigger and more substantial conference, a more valuable conference for the deal that they've signed.
And it's one of those things, if you're about to fall to your doom and you're trying to hold on to one last rock before you fall, it's not a bad one to go after.
And here's the thing. I think Bob Bowlesby's got a point.
Yeah.
Because I think it's easy to see how the ESPN is likely pulling strings behind the scenes to get the Big 12 to break up so that they can get Texas and Oklahoma in the SEC sooner and without any sort of ramifications there. It is also worth mentioning that ESPN has the rights to the AAC.
Yep.
And, by the way, they have the rights to the Big 12.
Yeah.
Okay?
Even if it's not happening, it's a narrative that is super easy to bite on.
Absolutely.
It is
100%.
attractive and appealing for people to want to sip that tea.
So how do I view it? I think there's at least a kernel of truth in it. I think that's fair to say.
Which is how business works in
but
the first place.
in the end, this is you're talking like hostile takeover type stuff.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Again, I just go back to it. These are business people making business decisions. Now, what Bowlesby is saying is that he sent the letter to the ESPN saying cease and desist with this nonsense because they have a contract.
Yep.
And the Big 12 or Bob Bowlesby or whatever ends up being left of the Big 12 if this comes to pass would certainly have at least some ground to stand on and some legal recourse.
His name is at the bottom of the sheet.
Yeah.
Signed in cursive somewhere.
And so as a result, he's saying, hey, y'all need to knock it off or we will get lawyers involved. And so this is going to get messy. This is going to get real messy.
As your eyes light up with joy. Don't tell me that you're not enjoying this a little bit.
I like drama.
I do
Drama's
too.
fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't impact me, and it doesn't impact you, the fan. It has to do with these two businesses. That's what they are. This is businesses fighting.
This is Godzilla versus Kong.
This is businesses fighting. Except for the fact that they're not going to knock down buildings or anything.
But if they did, it would be a lot cooler.
What I'm saying is, this has nothing to do with the fans. This is two businesses fighting.
Yeah.
And so there's no real reason to get emotionally invested in this. I understand that football brings out the feelings in everybody.
Right.
But there's
grab
no
your
reason.
popcorn
Just
and
grab
watch
your
from the
popcorn and let it
bird's eye
happen.
view. Yeah.
I mean, unless you are cashing checks from ESPN, or unless you're cashing checks from the Big 12, or unless you're cashing checks from the SEC, who cares? Enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to be, that's what it's going to be. And look, I think it's going to get messier because if Bowlesby's right and he has evidence of this, things are going to get very hairy in a hurry.
Oh yeah.
I don't know where the things are going. I don't know if the Pac-12 is interested in Tech or TCU or Baylor, any of these teams. I don't know. But, the AAC certainly does seem like a reasonable landing spot for at least some of those Big 12
Supposedly
teams.
the Pac-12 met the other day, and they didn't express any open interest into any of those teams. So that, again, makes it even dicier.
But they're not – but at the same time, they're not going to.
No.
They're not going to come out
Absolutely
and say those
not.
and be like, hey, we're looking to expand.
Yep.
They're gonna play these things close to the chest.
And
just
they're
like,
going to wait to see what the fallout happens there.
just like Texas, Oklahoma, and the SEC did. So there's that.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on TexasFootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe.